Okay, so a weird thing happened. I moved to Israel and suddenly started celebrating Thanksgiving more than I ever have done in my life. So basically, we decided to go to this sort of communal Thanksgiving dinner after we went to the very successful Shabbat dinner in the hangar, and in the end it was just me and Lee and Alison, and it was actually really good. It was like, I mean, the hangar Shabbat was really good, and then this Thanksgiving dinner was actually even better. So it was slightly different in that there were just three of us. So we had the whole awkward, you turn up and then you have to find a table to sit at. And now we've kind of got a hang of this a little bit more. You have to be very strategic about it. You need to get there relatively early so that you can make sure you get a good table, but you don't want to get there too early because you don't want to be the first people to sit down at a table because then you don't know who else is going to sit there. So what you need to do is find a table that's like, have a few people at that you think, oh, they look interesting, I want to sit with them, but not that it's so full that they haven't got space for three people. It's all very complicated and strategic. Anyway, so we got there quite early and we milled around a bit and socialized, and I was like, right guys, I mean, obviously by interesting people to sit at, we mean cute boys. So we did actually sort of, it was a big room actually. I think there were probably about 200 people going to be there, and so we did see a table in like towards the middle of the room that had 4 boys sat at it and about 6 spare seats. So I was like, right guys, this is where we need to aim for. And then I got distracted because I bumped into a friend from my Alpan. So they went and got the seats, and then I went over to join them, and I got close to the table and I realised, oh, these guys are really young. But we'd kind of already committed. But anyway, they were really sweet, really nice guys. They were all friends from universities. They were all like 22, 23. Actually, I was fine for Alison because she's a bit younger than us. But actually, they were really fun, really sweet. We had loads of wine. And the food was amazing, actually. It was like this big buffet. Usually they kind of serve you things in like tinfoil trays. But actually it was a really big buffet. There was loads and loads of turkey, loads of vegetables. They had cornbread. And I don't really know what it's supposed to taste like, but it was pretty dry. But anyway, it was actually really fun and sociable because it wasn't a Shabbat. So like there was music, and it was just really fun. And yeah, so we had lots of wine, and I met this girl Aliyah who we'd actually like met at a club a few weeks ago, and we'd bumped into her in the street with this other girl, and she had half a sandwich, and she came with us to the club. I don't know if you remember. Anyway, so I saw her, and she was really nice. So we sat and chatted, and I met her friend Kate, who actually also knows Emma Nagley, and it was a whole small world. So that was actually really nice to connect with them. And then we were the dinner finished, and we were all like, let's go out. So I don't know, word kind of spread. We all decided to go to Mike's place on the beach, mostly because it was nearby. No, it wasn't nearby. We had to go on a bus for ages. I don't know why we decided to go there. But anyway, we did. And loads of people came from the dinner, and we went with these young boys. And honestly, it was just a really fun night out. So that was great. And then the next day, I went to a Thanksgiving Shabbat. My new friend Erica, who is Courtney's like really good friend, so Courtney's my friend from Alpan, she'd invited me. She always hosts a Thanksgiving every year. She's American, so is Courtney, and yeah, she invited me to this Shabbat, and so I decided I was going to make cornbread and make challah to bring with, and because everyone was supposed to bring like a side dish. They were going to cook the turkey and everyone was going to bring a side dish. Oh my god, it was the most biggest disaster making a challah ever. It did not rise. I don't know what I did wrong, but it just didn't rise. And I think what I did wrong is that I used measurements in cups because I weirdly saw, I don't know why, I just found some recipe and it said cups, which is obviously the American way. I don't really know what a cup measurement is, and I don't know, I also was a bit hungover from the Thanksgiving the night before. Anyway, it was terrible. It didn't rise. It was a solid lump of dough, and even when I cooked it in the oven, it was still just a lump, but also it was really doughy. So anyway, and then I made cornbread, which I actually thought it was the first time I ever made it. But then my best friend Zoe reminded me I actually made it last year when we actually did a Thanksgiving last year, and I'd totally forgotten. But anyway, so I made cornbread, and actually that went really well, thank goodness. So I went to this Shabbat, and they were hosting it at Erica's friend Misha's house, and it was this whole group of people who I didn't know. So Courtney is a CrossFit trainer, and they're all friends from CrossFit. Like basically everyone there was amazing, like muscle, body, tone, beautiful people. And then there's me. And everyone's like, oh, how do you know everyone? I was like, well, I clearly don't go to CrossFit. I was like, I know Courtney from Allpad, and then I met Erica. It was really funny. But then Courtney's housemate was there, this girl called Jackie, and she also didn't go to CrossFit. So we were like, okay, we're the non-CrossFit people, because they had lots of like in jokes. They were talking about people and things, but they were so welcoming and so friendly. And then there was this girl Jill who also goes to CrossFit, who actually I know from London, because she actually was in London like 5 years ago and interned at UJIA where I worked, and we worked together. So it was really nice to see her and connect with her. And Jackie was amazing. She actually told me about a job opportunity at her work, and she said she'd send it to me. And yeah, and there was just all these obviously really attractive men there who all go to CrossFit. And it was just a really fun evening. I really felt like I was just really welcomed really nicely into this like really established friendship group, and it felt very like they'd all been here a long time. They're all really set up. They all kind of, you know what they're doing. So yeah, I had 2 Thanksgiving dinners, and really celebrating this holiday that I actually didn't really know anything about. So I had to do a little bit of asking just to double check exactly what was going on, and why, and what is this cornbread about. Anyway, so yeah, it was a really, really good couple of days, and happy Thanksgiving.